Hi, my name is Dr. Denise, and this is this week's A Dose from Dr. Denise, where I hope to teach, show, and inspire you how to release your God-given health and life potential. Happy Sunday. I wanted to wait till the end of my week to record this video because there was a lot of good stuff that was coming in and through me, and I wanted to try to capture it in this week's dose. The last several weeks I've been following a theme which I titled Joy Stealers, what robs us of our joy. So I want to quickly summarize the first three joy stealers, and then I'm going to talk about this fourth one, which I actually think is the most important one. The first one I talked about is not having enough, always feeling that we need more and living with this low level fear of never having enough, whether it's time, money, energy, resources, material possessions. There's so many things that we never have enough of, and it's a terrible way to live, and it robs us of our joy. The following week after that, I talked about our addiction, unfortunately, to our smartphones and social media. I really related to that one and did some soul searching myself. Definitely found that I'm on my phone way too much. I removed Facebook and Instagram as an app from my phone, and now I'm accessing it only through my laptop primarily. And it's like having dessert as opposed to, snacking on it all day long. And for me personally, that was definitely starting to rob me of my joy being attached to this digital device. Last week I talked about loneliness, and unfortunately our social media addiction is feeding into that joy stealer, because even though it's called FaceTime, we recognize that we're not spending enough face-to-face quality time with friends and family. And I also mentioned that the number one predictor of a healthy long life is our relationships. So that was an important one. So I'd encourage you to go back and re-listen to those three. But today I want to conclude this 4-week series on what robs us of our joy, which I think is the most important one, and that is living an inauthentic life, not truly being authentic to what your path here is on earth. And I think this is critical. I think there are people that go their entire lives living someone else's path, whether it's what their parents expected them to do, or what the society told them, or media tells them, or they're judging their neighbors tell them what they're supposed to be doing with their lives. And Wayne Dyer would often say from stage, when I heard him speak, he's since of course passed away, but he was such a wonderful author and speaker. And he said that people die with their music still in them. And that always stuck and resonated with me. And I don't want to die with my music still in me. And so in order to live an authentic path, you have to allow your music to come out, no matter what someone else might judge you for. So how do you do that? How do you live an authentic life? It sounds shoo-shoo-fee-fee, but we say we have roles and responsibilities, and all that is true. But I think you can take small steps each day to make sure that your path is authentic. So these are some of the things that I've implemented. First of all, I've really gotten in touch with my feelings, and I certainly do not suppress them. I think feelings are wonderful. I think they're God-given, and feelings are our own internal GPS. And so instead of a global positioning system, I call it a God-provided system. Your feelings are incredibly important to tell you if you're being authentic. If you have fear or anger or guilt or shame or a low level of anxiety, you have to pay attention to those feelings. And we certainly don't want to suppress them with drugs and alcohol. We want to feel them because it tells us that we need to make some changes in our life. Eleanor Roosevelt was quoted as saying, "Nobody can make you feel inferior without your consent." And I love that quote, but I like to truncate the end of it off and just say, nobody can make you feel. And it wasn't until I took responsibility for my own feelings. Nobody can make me feel ashamed. Nobody can make me feel guilty. Nobody can make me feel sad or anxious. I'm choosing those feelings. And once I recognize that I am completely responsible for all that is showing up in my life, that I am responsible, I am able to respond, that's when I started truly living a more authentic path. Another thing that I started doing is journaling. I started doing that 10 years ago, But my journals are just absolutely so important. And whether you're a man or a woman, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you start journaling. And it's not a diary that you have to write down what cereal you had for breakfast, but it's just thoughts that you record, your innermost thoughts. They usually will come to you early in the morning. And so frequently I find myself waking up at sometimes as early as 3:30, 4 o'clock. I try to stay in bed till at least 4:30 so I'm not tired during the day. But that's when I get my deepest, most intimate thoughts and conversations that come through me, and I record those, and that puts me on the right track. And the other thing that I've truly implemented in my life to make sure that I'm living a more authentic path is meditation. And so there's so many wonderful meditation apps out there, guys. I use Insight Timer, but there's a meditation app called Calm. There's Headspace. There's many of them. And I just implore you to start meditating, even if it's only 5 or 10 minutes once a day. There's something powerful about going within. And when you shut that conscious mind off and you go deep inside, you'll be amazed at the insights that come through. So one thing I want to, I'm always trying to keep these real, but one thing that happened to me within the last 2 or 3 weeks is that I repeat the prayer at the end of these doses, and a prayer that I say to myself every single day is, God, show me the people you wish me to meet or help. And so there's somebody that I met in my life that was introduced to me, and I thought I was meant to help her because she's 15 years younger than me. And it turns out that and I'm sure I have, but it turns out that she was meant to help me. And her name is Cassie, and she introduced me to the work of Byron Katie. And so I don't want to get off too much on a tangent, but I've been watching some of her videos, and it's just always amazing that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And so this is another author that I've been introduced to. And I absolutely believe it's because I spend time in a quiet meditation and prayer each day, asking God to put the right people in my path. And just by reading 1 or 2 books of Byron Katie and watching some of her videos, I've really been able to just take more responsibility for my thoughts and actions, because that's all we have. It's completely up to us. My mom often says the best way to predict the future is to create it. And I don't know who originally said that, but I love that line. So you have to live your authentic path, and the way to get there, I believe, is through prayer and meditation and journaling and doing some deep soul searching, paying attention to your feelings, because they'll let you know if you're on the wrong path. And at the end of the day, even though, if you have to get on a different path, you will end up hurting other people sometimes. But in the long run, it's better for both of you, because then you're living a more authentic truth. And I know that to be true in my life. So I'm going to finish with that prayer that I say each day. Oh, Holy Spirit of God, come into my heart and fill me. I open the windows of my soul to let you in. Come and possess me. Fill me with light and truth. I offer to you the one thing I do possess, and that's the capacity to be filled by you. Of myself, I am an empty vessel. Come and fill me with the life of the Spirit, the life of truth and goodness, the life of beauty and love, the life of wisdom and strength. And guide me today, Lord, in all things. Guide me to the people you wish me to meet or help. Guide me to the circumstances where I may best serve you, whether by my actions or by my sufferings. But above all, Lord, may you be formed in me, so that I may dethrone my ego and make you king, so that you are in me and I am in you, now and forever. So review these joy stealers, turn them around, and do things to elevate your joy, which is a state of mind and a state of peace. Have a wonderful, blessed, prosperous week, and I'll see you next Sunday. Peace out.